Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 MOCs of the Week episode where I show you guys the coolest custom creations I happen to see people building in LEGO bricks throughout this last week. Links to everybody I'm showing you are in the description below, and I highly recommend you check out these designers if you have any extra time. And also, if you have any extra time to be clicking around today, it might be worth checking out our web store, www.brickvault.toys. The most recent custom building instructions that have gone up in the web store are from the designer Tan Bricks. This is the nanoscale munificent class star frigate. It has got a ton of excellent details. It's a really strong build, and it's one of those models that does not get nearly enough attention in the Star Wars universe, even though it's a pretty important ship. Anyways, check out that web store if you want to help support the channel, and now let's jump into some of the honorable mentions of the week. Within the community, there is the Imperial March Baby Builds contest. Here are some of my personal favorite entries from Carter Witz. This is Baby Yoda's hut. Andreas Lenander did Baby X-Wing pilots on Yavin 4, and Josta Brick's Battle of the Baby Heroes Anakin vs. Obi-Wan is easily the most adorable lightsaber battle I've ever seen. Victor's cookie robot named Alfred is pretty amazing. Mitsuru Nikaido's doing other interesting mech versions of animals. The title is Heterocephalus glabber. I think that's the science name for gopher. Noble Bun's render of this VX Vera has some amazing line details. Marius Herman's Piranga Heavy Artillery 53R has an interesting set of mandible / arms right there in the center of the build. This is the Bilyek Bento from Nobu Terry. That's the new IKEA box that's being used as the main bit of white. Amazing use of those new colors from the dots line for the embroidery on the top of the box, and of course you've got a bento style meal on the inside. Marco de Bon's Lego Egg Blaster is an interesting departure from his more conventional mech style that you usually see him building in. I think it looks amazing. Here's just another work in progress pick from Remco Rohan. I cannot wait to see what these final pictures are going to look like for the NU class attack shuttle. We've got a really clean Jade Juggernaut from the builder Chris Pear on here, and another spider style mech from Bartosz called the TT4. Alrighty, let's jump into top 10. Remember, I'm not really showing these in any order of best to worst. And honestly, the same can be said for the honorable mentions, or even some of the cool builds that flash by in the beginning of the video. Let me know what you guys think are the coolest creations of the week, what you liked about them, all positive vibes here. This first one is from Markus Rollbuhler, and the title is MARCHtember 21st Liu's Inspiration. That's funny, that's a play on ShipTember, when LEGO builders usually build gigantic LEGO ships. Usually spaceships are built in your classic light bluish gray, dark bluish gray color combination, maybe a bit of white with some minor color highlights. That is not the case here. Everything is smooth and it's rounded and it's curvy and it's very, very colorful. Not only that, but there's also some clever part usage here. I like the curved white axles rounding over that teal balloon. The internal structure of the boat bottom being exposed in the lime has just an interesting way of looking somewhat technical on this spaceship build. And almost every piece in this model is really quite unconventional, I think, for standard spaceship building. Here's a wonderfully elegant, deceptively simple looking model from Saab Fan 2013. I'm no big plane expert. I'm gonna guess this is a 747, and there's just something that works so incredibly well at this size. The model is meant to imitate those standard desktopper plane models that have been around since forever, and it's cool to see such smooth, simple detailing captured really well at this scale for LEGO building. Technically, this is all really high-class rendering, but I have no doubt that this model could be built IRL no problem. Number 8 moving down is from Zane Houston. This is Gargoyle Bonsai. There was a bonsai competition not too long ago. We got some great builds, but this one here is easily one of the most unique versions of a bonsai that has ever been made. The gargoyle itself is quite jagged and distinctive, made with wing plates, lots of exposed studs, and then the wings of this creature itself is the bonsai tree. It's got a great dynamic pose. He's standing on top of an interesting geological formation that I believe exists in Ireland. It's got a special name. I think people know what I'm talking about. And it really just makes for a sum total unique and striking piece. Ayrlego has this customs post in Jameston. Back in the time time of marauding pirates in the Caribbean, you would see posts like this all the time, and it's often an era of history that builders love to revisit over the years. The primary color of yellow for the plastered walls really has a way of sticking out against the light bluish gray stone detailing, and it's also nice to see that this tropical area is built in a rocky section of the island with bits of the jungle still poking through. It's a bit of tropical detailing that you don't see quite as often in a Lego build, yet it's an all too common part of the terrain, and I think it was captured really well with the organic details below. Now, number 6 is from Bart de Dobbelaer. This is Marooned on CZ57. The world building of this designer is always very interesting, and there's always an interesting use of some primary pieces. Look at the part that makes up the waterbed or the lake or the ooze or whatever you want to call it. That is indeed a textured cloth piece or a textured vinyl piece. Looks like it could have come from a wing. I'm not entirely sure, but that is an official Lego piece, a lot of them, and together it creates a weird, shiny, bubbly sort of liquid surface. The dark orange pops quite colorfully against the dark bluish gray, and in classic weird eerie sci-fi fashion we have large bugs and marooned astronauts completely out of their element. Love this slice of science fiction, and now let's jump over to a Star Wars build. This is the Imperial raid on Dareth from the builder The Brickologist. It's a highly detailed, smaller vignette with a lot of action and clever techniques to be had in every department. I like the well-contained bush detailing in olive green, an interesting build for a fence or barrier in the center. Love the use of the brackets and tile detailing for the crates in the back, and of course we have a wonderful series of angles that makes up the edge of this building. And anyways, it's just a lot of fun details all crammed into one relatively small space. Number 4 on the list is from the builder Djokson, and we have an excellent character standing next to their pretty cool looking sci-fi bike. The title is Smog Ocean Surfer. We've got a wonderful sort of Akira sci-fi cyberpunk style bike with what looks like maybe even a robotic racer. I particularly like the attitude and stance captured for the rider. Seems to be standing there pretty casual, listening to something on the headphones, and the hands in the pocket detail really sort of makes it for me, where Djokson used those visors from the larger Technic figures. The colors pop, the attitudes pop, and the build really does allow you to start creating a world around this character rather quickly. From Hypolite Bricks, the title is Dispensary on the Outskirts of Cyberpunk City. So yes, you do have a dispensary building in the corner. There's some really great details on this building. I like that the door on one side is built completely into the wall, perfectly flush and yellow, while you've got what looks like maybe a larger retractable door on one side. Blue rubber bands make up some electrical detailing for the energy conduits there, and just awesome characters that make up this really strange and eclectic little area of Cyberpunk City. And now we're jumping over to a very distinct, very creepy, and clever little design from Faber Mandragore. And the title of this build is Tribal. The 5 high bricks making up the fingers of this spider-like robot have a wonderful way of keeping this whole model feeling very simple and smooth, and someone has got to tell me where the original use of this gray cloth piece has come in, making up the coverings around these 5 legs in the front. The eyes are cold and creepy, and frankly this looks like something that could be crawling around a larger disheveled cyberpunk city if you ask me. And now let's finish off with a build from ZetoVince titled Theodoros Kolokotronis. It was built for the 200-year anniversary of the Greek Revolution in 1821 against the Ottoman Empire, and this is one of the key figures from the revolution. Now, historical context aside, this is just a really excellent bust. It's extremely difficult to make a Lego face work for a model, and I think this designer managed to just strike a perfect scale that doesn't draw too many details towards the face or leave it feeling too simple. The helmet has some excellent techniques towards the top, and the gold embroidery along the collar and chest really make this character pop quite well. At this size, usually I say if a Lego bust doesn't look goofy, then it's a success, but this really is a special bit of building. Anyways, that is it for the top 10 MOCs of the week episode. These were my personal favorite picks. I'd like to know what you guys thought were awesome in the comments below. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever it is that you want to do, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.